The Stockades is one of the first dungeons you will do as a lobby adventurer in the world of Warcraft. It is a prison located inside Stormwind City. The dungeon has been steadily pulling down property values in the Mage Quarter since the game released with Classic in 2004. The prison has been home to some of the fiercest, toughest, most hardened criminals forced into crime due to the socio-economic conditions and pressures of poverty and homelessness in Westfall. The main plotline of this dungeon is truly the only real example of morally grey in the series, as the quests have you extrajudicially murdering prisoners who are unhappy with the way they are being treated, so in many respects you are role-playing the British Army and the H-blocks. The modern dungeon you will experience in BFA is divided into three wings. The first wing is a group of human prisoners who, despite having no armour or any weapons beyond improvised planks of wood, razor blades welded to toothbrushes, and soap wrapped in blankets hit like a truck and are marked as elites. That last one is obviously a joke, as the state of Stormwind does not feel obligated to afford any of its prisoners basic human rights. The wing is headed by Randolph Morlock, a unique challenge for players as this may be the first time they encounter what the hardcore players call a mechanic, and what people farming dungeons to level alts call a waste of time. When Randolph is dispatched, Alliance players have the chance to see his twin brother have a heart attack at such an ignoble and unglorious sight. This whole thing is a reference to the cult classic movie Trading Places, with Mortimer and Randolph being two amazing keystone characters of the EMCU, the Eddie Murphy Cinematic Universe. Naturally, due to the power of vibranium taken from Zamunda, this is the hardest fight in the dungeon. The next wing to the right used to be the final boss, a leader of the Defias, whose name I can't remember and can't be bothered looking up for this video. Unfortunately, killing him in Classic didn't stop the gang from controlling that wing of the prison. With rehabilitation clearly not on the cards, the people of Stormwind were at a loss. However, a bright idea came to them. Much like the British creating the fictional land of Australia, the Cataclysm provided a great excuse to make some petty thieves disappear. Unlike Australia, this solution involved fire. Using the Cataclysm as a clever smokescreen, they brought in the heat with Lord Overheat, who is an extremely powerful lord of the elemental planes, provided that you are no higher than level 25 and can operate with a basic degree of competence with a group of 5 strangers. When you've killed him, you enter the final wing. Truth be told, the final boss of this encounter is a figure shrouded in more myth than fact. And what we know of Hogger today is perhaps only drawn from the experiences of many shell-shook survivors. And the only things we've ever heard him confirm from his own mouth is his love of, juicy bones to gnaw on. Hogger is the chieftain of the River Paw Knolls, the biggest and most annoying of all the Knoll gangs of Azeroth, rivaled only in annoyance by the Murlocs of the Eastern Kingdoms. However, much like the German Volkskriegs Freedom Party, without a charismatic leader to appeal to the masses and galvanise them, the Murlocs just don't measure up to their contemporaries. Hogger was arrested on many counts, including several war crimes, which listed the mass extinction of level 1 gnomes in 40-man raids who valiantly tried to defeat this menace to society. He's also responsible for ending the Mexican cartels after they tried to encroach on a space of Elwyn Forest, and for creating the drug trade in British Columbia. Hogger is truly a force of legend. Despite this, the gear he drops is rather underwhelming. This is to compound the feeling that those who act as vassals for the state will be left with nothing but false patriotism and a big fat check from Activision. And if you're a horde, you're probably just a big fan of breaking and entering. Thanks for listening.